So one of the really cool things about aerial imagery is just how much you can see. Check out this ortho-rectified, corrected photo of Wellington Airport. What kind of information can we get from this?
Yeah, this is actually just really cool photo, and that's part of the cool part about my job. So it gives, because ortho imagery, as we call it, gives you the ability to measure distances, to measure areas. A lot of people use it in quite interesting ways, like companies and councils even use it to determine how many car parks they can put in to a car park. And they can measure that, and that's fine, but sometimes they want to re-look at it and have a few ideas, so they can do it at their desktop. One of the good things is here, and it's a cool photo, kids, you've got a couple of 737s sitting over here, and an Airbus A320 sitting down here. So there's so much information, they can work out whether they need to change these lines. Are the curves big enough for turning planes? So simple things that we don't always think of ourselves, but there's a use for it from everyone. So it's kind of cool. And there's a few, you can even see the remnant of a person.
Oh, yes.
Interesting thing is you can't really see who they are. You'd have to be pretty clever to work out that they're people as well. So it's quite good, really detailed information, and can show a lot. And capturing information is probably the key and most important part of using imagery. It means you can do it at your desk rather than having to get out in the field potentially.
Right. So looking up here,
Yep.
we've got a form of capture. Can you explain this?
Yeah, as we would have seen yesterday with Yasmin and Karen, they were doing building footprint capture, and this is another example. This one's actually in Wellington again, where the council has captured all the building footprints, and they need to know this information so that they know what buildings are there. Has there been any building changes between captures of imagery? So it's just a really good way to do it, and an easy way to do it. They don't have to go through your property, get chased by your dog, get wet and all that kind of stuff, so they can do it at their desktop. Yeah.
Right. And we've got a good old topographic map here, and you may have remembered from last year's field trip where we looked at how these were made. Can you use aerial imagery to update these?
Absolutely, that's exactly how they do it. For those that remember last year's field trip, Richard Freeman talked about topographic mapping, and this is the end product, and the topographic map shows information like roads, where people live, where the river is, what type of vegetation types, where the windbreaks are. So that's an example of the map. Now, to get there, they start with imagery. Now, they zoom into this kind of level down here, but that's a piece of imagery over Ashburton. So for all those that are from Ashburton, this is for you. They start with the imagery of the area they want, and they start going through and capturing the information off it. So because they can zoom into the level of that photo down below, they can see the roads. So they start marking the roads in. They can see where the forests are. They can see where the people live. They can see the racetrack. They can see where the rivers are, where the coastline is. So that's how you go from this nice image, you start putting all the information over it, and then you come out with a map for what people need. So other examples of that would be street maps. And in street maps, they might not be interested in the vegetation. So they might just show the street maps in terms of the streets and the locations. So
right.
It's a great way of getting information off.
Yeah. Can you show us how you actually get that information on the computer and turn it into this?
Yep, we'll jump on a computer, we'll grab some imagery, and then, go from there.
Okay. So Andrew's going to show you how to capture data using this clever piece of GIS software. Andrew, how does it work?
Yeah, well, it's quite simple. We can load the imagery in to the actual GIS software, and it goes to where it belongs in the world, which is part of the great thing about geospatial information. And we simply, if we want to get a coordinate, we simply click on Start Capture of a Coordinate, and we can click on a point, and straight away we have its latitude and longitude, or also its NZTM, which is a map projection that we use in New Zealand quite a lot. It gives the coordinates from that as well. So that's the northern and easterns. So we have those, and we can quickly go around and do that on a whole lot of different locations all around the Christchurch and Hagley Park here. And then also you have the ability just to quickly measure distances of lines. You can measure a line from A to B and find out that it's 60 metres. Or if you want to measure the area of something, you can put in the polygon, which is a shape around what we're looking at, and it'll give you the area in square metres. The great thing for this is if the area that you're looking at doing is hilly, forested, and you don't actually have the time or the ability to get out there and do it, you can do it here so much easier. Your feet don't get wet because it's quite frosty in Christchurch today, and it gives you so much time savings because you can do it anywhere in New Zealand. I could do this for a place in Auckland while I'm sitting here in Christchurch. I could do it at a place in Wellington while I'm sitting in Christchurch. You get to see it because you've got the imagery to do it from.
Just too easy. So what do you need if you're doing it out in the field?
If you're out in the field, there's a couple of ways you do it. You need a GPS unit, and you'd have to have the correct GPS unit. Today we'll use just my phone GPS, and it's not as accurate as it should be, to capture. Or you can use surveying techniques to do it as well. But you also have to have a good pair of boots, bit of fitness, and access to where you want to go and measure. That's probably the biggest issue.
So you can definitely see why this software is so powerful and so easy.